Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my Dark Knights and fantasy football fanatics everywhere. Welcome to the Fantasy Cave. I thought I'd put a little spin on it since, Batbran, Batcave, Fantasy Cave. Um, Not copyrighted, by the way. Sorry, I'm going to take a sip of water. I am here by myself today. Funk decided to go apple picking today. So, it is just me. And me and him discussed what we could do. We are no longer going to, because considering our podcast was an hour and 49 minutes long, we've decided to cut it down to just talk about the matchups, start sit decisions, stuff like that, and go into each matchup and talk about if we're worried about these players, buy low, sell high players, stuff like that. But today, we are going to talk about these matchups, just the matchups, and start sit decisions. If you guys have any start sit decisions or any questions that you have, go down in the comments down below and let us know what the comments that you guys have for us. Some of uh, the questions that you may have, start sit decisions, should we trade this player, different stuff like that. This is week 6. We do have some teams on bye this week. Teams on bye are Lions, Texans, Raiders, and Titans. So if you have Derrick Henry, you're not going to have Derrick Henry this week. If you had Davante Adams, which it looks like Davante Adams, with what happened on Monday night, Davante Adams is most likely going to be suspended for a game. He did get charged with a misdemeanor assault charge for assaulting or basically pushing the cameraman. Like, you lost that game. Don't go up and go to a cameraman who's just doing his job and push him to the ground. That was something that I was not okay with. Other things I do want to talk about news-wise. Tua is not going to play. It looks like he's going to come back week 7. Same thing for Dak. The other, Jonathan Taylor, he is back practicing, so that's good to see there. T. Higgins, it's looking like he may not play. He's questionable going into this week, on top of also several other players. I know there was a scare with Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin is definitely fine. We'll talk about him later because he may be a start of the week this week. You guys will see that. And I honestly, I think that some other players as well. Jameis Winston has been practicing, but I don't feel he'll be back. So if you have Taysom Hill, you could be more confident to play him. I'm in a situation where it's Hayden Hurst or Taysom Hill in that game, and really, if T. Higgins is out, Hayden Hurst is in, and it comes down to those two things. If all the receivers are out for New Orleans because Michael Thomas is hurt, he doesn't look like he's going to play. Jarvis Landry, he's hurt. It looks like he's not going to play. But Chris Olave was in the concussion protocol and he cleared it, so he will play on Sunday. But it looks like but if Jameis Winston plays, I don't think Taysom Hill is going to see that much of the field. But still, if you picked him up in fantasy, you're playing him. Like, I'm in a league where I kind of have to play him. Because the level of tight ends, if you don't have Travis Kelce or Mark Andrews or Tyler Higbee, you're very upset with the tight end decision that you chose. So, let's just get into these matchups, and I'm going to just talk about this here right now. The Bears, I ranted about it last week. I promised myself I wasn't going to do it, but here we are. This team showed flashes. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, Justin Fields showed flashes of this game. Our defense was amazing, as it always is. Like, Eberflus has gotten this defense playing well. The problem is our offense. We can't expect to win games when our defense is doing 99% of the work And our run game is the only thing the defense has to stop. So defenses are basically saying we're just going to shut down David Montgomery and Khalil Herbert, and Justin Fields try and beat us. And he can't. He can't. When Darnell Mooney is your best receiver, I love Money Mooney. I really, really do. But if that last play, if it was any possession receiver, if we still had Allen Robinson, he would have caught that pass for a touchdown. He would have caught it. He would have absolutely caught that touchdown. I know there's rumors of Kenny Golladay, stuff like that. If even Kenny Golladay was the one that caught that or went for that catch, he would have caught it. Definitely. A possession receiver would be crucial. And all our receivers are nobodies, unproven guys, and our offense is terrible. Everything should go through Cole Kmet for the rest of the way. It really should, because Cole Kmet is our best receiver at this point, and we're not looking his way at all. And it's very frustrating. I love Money Mooney. I really, really do. He looked really good on Thursday night. But I mean, Justin Fields looked good. He had flashes. He had that 60-yard run, which was fantastic. He just popped off a run and made something out of nothing. And that's why you live with the growing pains with Justin Fields. That's why I'm okay with Justin Fields. But in this game, Khalil Herbert did have a long touchdown run. Or he had a 60-some yard run. He's still not worth playing. David Montgomery's getting all the carries. Monty is getting all the carries. Khalil Herbert's only there occasionally. You're hoping for a long run or a touchdown on a Khalil. So unless Montgomery goes down, Khalil Herbert isn't worthy starting. But on the Commanders side, Carson Wentz is terrible. I have a feeling that he will lose his job eventually to Sam Howell or Taylor Heineke because they're trying to save their jobs at this point. Yeah, sorry about that. They're trying to save their job at this point. Curtis Samuel I know a lot of you guys that started him. I was one of them. Because he was looking really good, throughout the season so far. He had a 40-yard touchdown in his hands and dropped it. You're very upset with that. 2 points in PPR leagues, if you were in that sort of realm. Still okay. Carson Wentz looked terrible. He didn't even reach triple digits. It's not good for this team. But I will say the one bright spot, I've been telling you to pick this guy up and stash him, is Brian Robinson. The fact that the story for this guy, you go from getting shot in the leg twice, okay, to playing and scoring a touchdown. Which, granted, it was because Velus Jones decided, hey, I'm not going to fair catch this. I'm going to take this straight to the head. And it cost his team a win. But Brian Robinson still looked fantastic. He wasn't getting a lot of pop-off, but you were playing a Bears defense that is pretty good against the run. Well, they're actually not. They're actually very bad against the run. The pass they're good against. I apologize for that. But the Washington Commanders aren't great, so I am very stuffy this morning, and I don't know why. Okay, sorry about that. Had to blow my nose. We are good. But, yeah, about this game, pretty much just on the Commander side, Antonio Gibson looks like he's not worthy of being started anymore. Brian Robinson looks like the guy that will... just wait till he starts getting passes. When they start using him, it looks like he is going to be the starting back and is going to get a bulk of the carries because Antonio Gibson did come in and take some away, but J.D. McKissick did nothing. So Brian Robinson looks like the guy that is worthy to be picked up and started at some point soon. So, moving on to the Sunday slate, we are going to break down all these games. And starting with the San Francisco 49ers and the Atlanta Falcons here. In this game, like, if you have San Fran's defense, dear God, play them. Dear God, play them. Please do it. Because it is going to be an absolute bloodbath uh, for this team. I'm just going to back it up here. Just go into and actually go in here. But, yeah, on the San Francisco side, apologize for this. On the San Francisco side, honestly, like, San Fran is going to dominate the Falcons. The Falcons aren't winning this football game. They don't have a chance. Especially with Kyle Pitts, which we'll just pivot right into talking about the Falcons side. If you have Kyle Pitts, you have to play him. You have to. Because what he can do for you. And you're just living with the suffering. Kyle Pitts is a guy that they may be down in this game, but the 49ers are really good against all facets. They're very good against wide receiver. They're very good against tight end. Running backs, you can beat him there. Tyler Algier, maybe, but I'm not worthy to start anybody on the Falcons side other than Kyle Pitts. And that's because you have to. Drake London, maybe they're going to be down, but the Niners defense it's top 3 right now in the league. The Dallas Cowboys are up there defensive-wise. Niners are up there. And the Eagles. So those 3 defenses have been shutting down people wide receiver-wise and been shutting down people with the offense offensively. And honestly, like Drake London, if you have a better option, play someone else. If not, just lower your expectations. I'm okay with Drake London, but I just feel if you have better options and better matchups, play them. I'm an advocate for matchups. I'm an advocate for playing your best man and your best matchups. That's why I'm in a league, which this podcast was originally created for, was for Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin has a better matchup. I have an issue with Michael Pittman and Chris Godwin and Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle, both the starting quarterbacks, looks like they're not playing. Skylar Thompson is probably going to play again. Not looking to play Jalen Waddle in that. I would, but you kind of have to. But I have options with Chris Godwin playing Pittsburgh. You kind of have to play Chris Godwin. I have Courtland Sutton. I can't bench Courtland Sutton after what he's been doing. And Gabe Davis, I have Gabe Davis. So, unfortunately, this week, Michael Pittman and Jalen Waddle are both sitting for me. Now, we'll talk about them later, but in this league, I've had to bench both of them because I want that Buffalo Bills-Chiefs matchup. And last time Gabe Davis played him, he had 4 touchdowns. So I had to play him. And then Sutton, I can't match up what Sutton is doing right now. And then Chris Godwin, they're playing the worst defense against the wide receiver in the league. So I kind of had to do that. So anyway, 49ers side. You're playing pretty much everybody. My running back start of the week is Jeff Wilson. The Falcons just bleed points to the running back, and they are going to get dominated on the ground. Jeff Wilson's going to have a big game this week. Debo, obviously, he's going to have a good game. And if this is the 1 week I think this is the bounce back for George Kittle this the week. I think George Kittle is going to get a touchdown this week. And you're going to be much more happier that you drafted him. He was injured. He's been slowly coming back. And I think they're just easing him back into the fold. And, like, George Kittle's kind of like a Kyle Pitts almost. Like, you have to but Kyle Pitts doesn't have an injury tag against him like George Kittle did. The Niners are winning this game. Like I said, Brandon Ayuk is also an option you could play, but he's not worthy of a start yet. He's maybe a flex play, I would say. But moving on to the Patriots and the Brownies, or the Browns. Uh, Browns at 2-3, Patriots at 2-3. This is a toss-up. I honestly feel this could go either way from either team. The Browns' defense has not been great as advertised. I think Myles Garrett's been dealing with some injuries and whatnot. And on the Patriots side, Mac Jones is out, it looks like, so they may have Bailey Zappi. I do think that on the Patriots side, that Ramondre Stevenson is a must start. Him and Jeff Wilson are like two running back starts of the week. You're getting two running back starts of the week from me this week. Because it looks like Damian Harris isn't going to play. And if Damian Harris doesn't play, you saw what happened last week with Ramondre. He's going to do it again this week against the Browns defense that gives up points to the running back. He is going to have another good game. I don't know if he'll have 20-plus points like he had last week, but you could see an average close to that. Other than that, the only other guy in this offense I would want to play is Jacoby Myers because Zappy has looked his way a lot, especially in a PPR league, because Jacoby is a guy you're looking for him to at least catch 6 or 7 passes a week, especially with Zappy if he is starting, because he is going to dump the ball off a lot to Jacoby Myers in this offense. And yeah, I just feel like this is a week that this could go either way. Jacoby Brissett, I can speak today, I promise. Jacoby Brissett. You're not playing Jacoby Brissett. Don't do it. Patriots defenses are actually really good. And the Browns, the only guys I'm looking to play here, you could play Amari Cooper. The Patriots are actually middle of the pack or lower against receivers and tight end. So Njoku, from what you've gotten from Amari Cooper, he's only had 1-2 bad weeks. I think Amari Cooper is worthy of a flex play. Donovan Peoples-Jones is not yet. He's worthy of a pickup and stash, but I would not start him. Njoku is definitely a guy I like as well, because he's actually, out of all the tight ends, him and Tyler Higbee have been the most consistent, because Njoku has been a guy that, yeah, he hasn't had touchdowns, but he's had consistent targets, and he's been a focal point in the offense. And that may be because Jacoby Brissett targeting the tight end a lot. He does have a habit of doing that. And I think that will continue. What I will say, though, is on the Browns side, I shouldn't have to tell you this, but you're playing Nick Chubb. He's the number one running back in all of the land right now, and fantasy. And Kareem Hunt is a flex play. Just because, like, if you look at the red zone targets, the red zone opportunities, Nicholas Chubb is 1, and 3 is Kareem Hunt. So they are going to be closer to the red zone at some point. Patriots are pretty good against the run. I do think that Nick Chubb gets a score in this, and I think Kareem Hunt is going to be necessary to dump the ball off to in this game. So I think that, and his floor is 8 points. When your floor is 8 points, I'm okay with that. You could do worse than Kareem Hunt. In this game, I think the Patriots do win this game. The Browns, I feel like they're a team right now that their defense just isn't the way. They have a bunch of injuries on the defense, and the Patriots, even if Bailey Zappi plays, I think this is not going to be a high-scoring game, obviously, but I think that Ramondre Stevenson will get it done against the Browns defense. Moving on to the Jets at 3-2. Yeah, I said the 3-2 Jets against the 3-2 Packers. Who would have thought we'd be sitting here saying, "Hey, the Jets are 3-2"? What? I mean, they really haven't played a lot of people. Two of their wins were against the Browns and the Steelers, but and the Steelers are a shell of themselves without T.J. Watt in the defense. But on the Jets side, like Zach Wilson has looked decent. He hasn't looked really bad. He has improved. But really on the Jets side, like the only I would flex Garrett Wilson. Um, but I feel like really the rest of them, you're not willing to play any of the pass catchers for the Jets, especially after Tyler Conklin put up a big goose on you. And you're not playing Zach Wilson against the Packers defense. Packers defense is actually pretty good against the wide receivers and the quarterback. But running back, Brees Hall, I think Brees Hall is going to have a good game this week as well. He has actually been really good for fantasy. He has not gotten below 10 points at all this year yet. He's averaged. His floor is 10 points. That's very good for a running back, especially in PPR formats. Very good. If your floor is 10 points, you're worthy of starting as a running back. I'm almost saying running back one. I'm almost saying he's a running back one at this point. I just need to see a little more, but I think he's definitely worthy of a start for sure. Aaron Rodgers is definitely starting. I know he came up on the injury report this week with a thumb. He'll be fine. He's playing. Aaron Rodgers is my quarterback start of the week. He's playing the Jets. Jets defense, not great. I do feel like Aaron Rodgers gets back to form. He's going to be upset what happened last week with the Giants. They shouldn't have lost that game to the Giants. I don't know how they lost that game to the Giants. Because I'll see it this way. The Giants are the worst 4-1 team I've ever seen in my entire life. Okay? We'll talk about them later because I feel like this is the week they do fall apart. In this game, Packers-wise, Aaron Jones, you're playing Aaron Jones. Are you playing A.J. Dillon? I'm really worried. He's one of the guys I'm very worried about because A.J. Dillon is a guy that you drafted him late. He's your running back too. And for some teams, he's a running back too. A.J. Dillon at this point is just a flex play. And I can't believe I'm saying that, but A.J. Dillon is losing carries to Aaron Jones. And I just can't believe that they're not really giving him the carries as much as Aaron Jones is getting. Especially in the beginning of the year, they were saying, oh, A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones are going to be 1A and 1A. Well, he hasn't really been doing a lot over the last 3 or 4 weeks. I think this is the week he does get it back on track. If he doesn't this week, you can bench him until he does something. Because to me, this is a game where you can beat the Jets on the ground. The Jets are very defeatable on the ground. And A.J. Dillon, Aaron Jones, I think they can both dominate this game. And I think they can both at least get one touchdown in this game. The pass catchers for the Packers. Romeo Doubs is a flex play. What happened last week against the Giants, I don't think will happen again. It's growing pains. He's a rookie. He'll get there. Alan Lazard, he's worthy of a start. Apologize for that. He's worthy of a start every week. Because since every game he started, he's had at least 8 points or higher. That's worthy of a start for sure. That's definitely a guy that I would look to start every week. And he's Aaron Rodgers number 1. Why would you not play him? Big Bob Tunyon. There's better options at tight end. Just don't do it to yourself. Don't do it. Just don't do it. You can do worse than him. I would, if I had a decision between Big Bob or, say, like Evan Ingram or Gerald Everett, I would go Gerald Everett over them. Because then at least you get production. On Robert Tunyon, you're just banking on a touchdown. It looked decent because he was getting more targets and he was getting more um he was getting more snaps every week. He was getting each day was more snaps. Um but it did not look good going forward. So I have to see more from Big Bob. That's all I'm saying. And in this game, Packers are gonna bounce back and beat the Jets. If the Jets win, I'll be shocked. I'll be shocked. Okay, next we have the Jaguars 2-3 and the Colts at 2-2-1. This game is going to be a low over under from what I saw on the over unders on DraftKings and stuff like that. Let me actually pull my phone here for the over unders. Yeah. Week 6 over unders. Okay. All right, let me just load this up. All right, so just okay. Well, where's the Okay, so in this game, it's a 42.5 over under. That basically that doesn't really look too good for the over unders for this. I think the lowest of the week was the Bears, but next to that was the Dallas Cowboys and Philadelphia Eagles. That's the closest over under. But this is one of the lowest on Sunday. This is going to be a low scoring game. It's going to be a very boring game. But on the Jags side, you're not playing either quarterback, first of all. Let me just throw that out right now. Jonathan Taylor is back. They did say Jonathan Taylor most likely is going to play. In this game, I do feel like this is a guy that Jonathan Taylor, like he has been disappointing. The Jags defense is pretty good against the run. I think they're going to limit his snaps. I really do because he's their star. You know, he's their number one. He's their best running back. He's their best playmaker. They need to keep him healthy. They're going to probably limit his carries. You're playing him, obviously. If Jonathan Taylor plays, you're playing him. But don't be surprised if he does not have another good day. That's all I'm going to say. The Jags, he could get a touchdown. Most likely with the volume and all that, he will score a touchdown. He does do pretty decent against the Jags in his past. But I much rather would do a wait and see approach. I would play Jonathan Taylor this week, obviously, but don't expect a lot of points. He dominates the Titans, is who they play next week, and he will have a good game next week, I feel. But this week, I don't see that happening. On the pass catching side, let's start with the Jag side. Christian Kirk was really bad last week. I think he had one catch for 2 yards. That was just a bad game overall. Throw that out the window. You're playing Christian Kirk. He's only had one bad week. You have to play Kirk. And Evan Ingram's actually a sneaky tight end. I would play as well. He's been decent in PPR formats. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying that about Evan Ingram, but he's been decent in PPR format. And on the Colts side, you're not playing any of the tight ends on that side. Michael Pittman, you have to start Michael Pittman unless you have better options. Like I just said earlier, how I have a better matchup. I'm playing him over that. Alec Pierce is a guy that is an interesting flex play if you're looking for a sneaky start. I am looking in deeper leagues to play him, especially if you're desperate with buys. Say you have Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's out this week, and you have to play somebody. You could do worse than Alec Pierce. You could. Alec Pierce is at least going to get you at least 5 or 6 catches. At least. and give an upside for not a touchdown, but at least a high yardage total because Matt Ryan has looked his way. So I do feel that that is going to be a good game there. But I think the Colts win this game. I think this is a get right game. I think that Matt Ryan finally shows a little something. Uh, I think he's going to have to do something because Jonathan Taylor is still hobbled. And I think Taylor will do something, but I think this is going to be a get right game for Matt Ryan and Michael Pittman. So um, I think they win, but it's a very low scoring game. Moving on to the Vikings and the Dolphins. Vikings are 4-1. No one's talking about the Vikings at 4-1, by the way. Very shocking with that. The only team they lost to is undefeated right now, in the Eagles. They've only had one bad game. They have looked really good offensively. Defense has been suspect. Their defense is very bad. But in this game, no Tua. Tua will be back next week, week 7. So Jalen Waddle, players, keep your fingers crossed. You can play Waddle next week. I mean, you still got to play Waddle this week, though. In this game, it looks like Skylar Thompson because Teddy isn't going to play. If he does play, he's going to back up Skylar Thompson. So it lowers expectations for both. Tyreek Hill is fine. Tyreek Hill is going to be fine every week. But Jalen Waddle, I mean, Skylar did not look his way at all when he was in. Now, they were both injured coming into the week. They were cleared off the injury report on Friday, so they are good. On the running back side for the Dolphins, Raheem Mostert was excellent last week. I think you've got to keep playing him until he proves that he's not. Now, I think last time I checked, he was questionable for this week. I think he still is going to play, but if he doesn't play, Chase Edmonds is interesting. All you people that stashed Chase Edmonds or drafted him in the beginning of the year were so upset and dropped him. If Raheem Mostert doesn't play, Chase Edmonds is going to get all the carries. So we may finally see a little Chase Edmonds, like Chase Edmonds redemption here. But you're not starting. You can't start Chase Edmonds, right? I mean, unless you're the Raheem Mostert owner, and you kind of have to start him. But this is a really good matchup against the Vikings. I think this is going to be a pretty good game. I think the over/under is 45. Yes, it is 45.5 is the over/under. This could be a high-scoring affair. It just comes down to can Skylar Thompson, the rookie, keep up points with the high-powered Vikings offense? Probably not, if you saw last week. Now, they have had a full week of game planning for it. And I think this a week, if Raheem Mostert plays, he's going to get a lot of carries because they are going to lean on the run, especially with the quarterbacks that they have right now at Skylar Thompson being a rookie. Normally, how that works for an offense is give the ball to the running backs, ease him in with easy throws. So Tyreek Hill is going to get probably several catches in this game. I feel like on the Vikings side, I shouldn't have to tell you to start Dalvin Cook. You're playing him. Kirk Cousins is a definite must start. He's my quarterback start of the week this week because Miami's offense is their secondary is injured all across the board right now, and they are giving a lot of points up to the quarterback lately. Now that could be skewed because they gave a lot of points up to Baltimore, and they played Buffalo, so those numbers could be changed a little bit from that. But on the Vikings side, of course, playing Dalvin Cook, opposed to playing Justin Jefferson. What about Adam Thielen? You know, I think this is a get-right game for Adam Thielen. I think we do see Thielen actually perform well. I do see a touchdown in this game. I do. And there's better options at tight end than Mike Gesicki or Smith. Don't play either one. But in this game, Vikings win. I can't go with Skylar Thompson at quarterback here. I can't. With him playing at quarterback, he's just too inexperienced, for one. And two, If it was Tua, I'd pick the Dolphins. But with no Tua, no Teddy, Skyler, no. I can't trust a seventh round. There's a reason why he was chosen as a seventh rounder. Okay. They're gonna need some magic to win this game. Okay, moving on to the Bengals at 2-3 and the Saints at 2-3. I tell you what, the two teams that were representatives of the Super Bowl last year, they have struggled. They have struggled big time. And I will say this: this is a game that could be very interesting for fantasy. The over under on this game is, let me pull it up here, 43.5. Again, that's not super high. That's a bit more reasonable, but it's a lower scoring game. It's one of the lowest on the week. The lowest we'll talk about later because, dear God, it's going to suck. Um, Bengals side, you got to play Joey Burrow. You kind of have to. But if you have a better option, I'd much rather play a streaming option against this Saints defense. But if Lattimore's out, because Lattimore has been dealing with injury, if Marshawn Lattimore is out, Burrow is going to have a good game, and I think Jamar Chase is as well. Because Lattimore is one of, if not the best cornerback in this league, shutdown cornerback in this league. Peanut Tillman would be very proud of that. But I think that Jamar Chase, run him up, he's going to have a good game. Now, T. Higgins, he has come in. I think he's officially questionable for this week. Yes, he is. He is officially questionable for this week. If he doesn't play, I feel like Jamar Chase is going to be a big factor, and I think Hayden Hurst. Like, I'm in a situation where I am playing Taysom Hill at tight end because just his touchdown upside and his ceiling is humongous. But if Jameis Winston plays and the receivers are in, I'm not playing him. If T. Higgins is out, last week we saw it. T. Higgins was out. Hayden Hurst had a touchdown. He had a very productive day. And the Saints, the one place you can beat them defensively is the tight end. They are not great against the tight end. I think they're about the middle of the pack. So I think here's a spot where you can play Hayden Hurst. If he plays, I think he is questionable going into this week. And that's pretty much it. Like, Joe Mixon, I don't have to tell you to play Joe Mixon. You're playing him every week. It is going... I know you're worried about Joe Mixon. A lot of people are. But he's going to get there. I think this is the week that he should get there. They're going to need to run the football. There's going to be a low-scoring game. He's going to have a lot of opportunities. And he will get there. The matchups, good matchups for him are coming. He just had some really tough spots. Like the Ravens, he should have had a good game against the Ravens. I'll give him that. And he will, this is what you ask for. Like, if you drafted a lot of the top guys for fantasy, like even the guy I'm going to pivot to right now, Alvin Kamara, he had a good game last week, but previously he hasn't been great. You want to see Kamara perform. And I feel like if Jameis is out, Kamara is going to be a must start and need to play in your lineup because Jameis doesn't really target the running back, but Andy Dalton, if he is the starter, most likely will. And Taysom's going to do some weird stuff with Alvin Kamara, I'm sure. They have a whole package for him as well. And speaking of him, Taysom, if after what he did last week, if you spent fab on him, you spent a waiver wire pickup on him, you have to play him. You have to play him after what he did, and you're just living in the flames, man, and you're crossing your fingers. See, I'm right now, I've never been more afraid or more excited to play a tight end in fantasy in my entire life. Because you don't know what he's going to do for you. All right, sorry about that. So in this game, on by the way, the over under is 43.5. So that is another low one. So this is gonna probably be like I would say like 17-14 final score sort of game. If Jameis Winston doesn't play, I think Taysom Hill is a guy you kind of have to start. Um, because they are going to have a package for him. Now, it is a big risk reward because you're playing Taysom. He could give you like 3 points tops, but he could give you 30. That's. I don't think he's going to give you 30 this week, is what I'm saying. But I think he could give you at least 10 or 15. And really, at the tight end position, you're happy with that. I guarantee he's going to at least he's gonna have touchdown opportunity. He's gonna have at least one touchdown in this game for sure because they use him in the run game. He's gonna get opportunities. If Jameis doesn't play, you're and Olave is playing, which you're playing Olave, but Michael Thomas looks like he's out. Jarvis Landry's definitely out. He hasn't practiced at all this week. So he's going to be necessary because it's literally Olave and the tight ends. So it's going to be necessary for them. And in this game, who do I like to win? I'm going to choose the Saints in an upset. I feel like Joe Burrow's going to make a mistake late, and it's going to cost the Bengals the win. Next, we have the 3-2 Ravens against the 4-1 Giants. I can't believe I'm saying the 4-1 Giants right now. I mean, they do deserve some respect. They really, really do after what they've done, but they do not deserve to be 4-1. Over under is 44.5. So we're getting up there a little more with the over unders. In this game, it looks like Rashad Bateman is declared out. So Devin Duvernay, he is a guy who I'm looking to flex in some matchups. But other than that, with the Ravens, J.K. Dobbins, if you have a better option, I wouldn't play J.K. Dobbins against the Giants. The Giants actually have been pretty decent against the run. And he was not great the week before. And Gus Bus is coming back here soon. I think if any week J.K. Dobbins is going to get some carry, it's going to be this week. But I just don't think it's going to be a lot of yardage because the Giants' defense is actually pretty good against the run. And honestly, Lamar Jackson is taking pretty much all the running out of it. So obviously you're playing Lamar. Daniel Jones, I would actually like if you want a sneaky streamer, surprisingly would say Daniel Jones. He hasn't been bad. He hasn't been too bad. I would look to try and stream him if you need a quarterback. The running back for the Giants, Saquon Barkley. You're playing Saquon Barkley, obviously. Saquon Barkley has been so good for fantasy. He is officially back to old Saquon. I honestly feel like if we did a fantasy draft like do-over, he would be my running back pick. He would be the second overall pick in my mind. Chubb being the first. Saquon is been so consistent. He has led the Giants to this 4-1. I honestly feel that because the Giants don't have any pass catchers that are producing at all, so it's all on Saquon's shoulders. And Saquon is used to that. Saquon is used to that. There was years in Penn State where it was all Saquon. It was all Saquon when he was in college. And that's why he had big, humongous seasons for them, because it was him and Christian Hackenberg was a terrible quarterback. So Really on the Ravens, like for the tight ends, by the way, Daniel Bellinger is actually a sneaky guy who, if you're in deeper leagues, you need a tight end, you could do worse. I like Daniel Bellinger, and then Mark Andrews is must start every single week. I don't even need to tell you anything else. But the Ravens are winning this. I think the Ravens win a hard fought match and win it by a Justin Tucker field goal. And the Giants, we're gonna see them get exposed for how they're not that great. Next is the Buccaneers at 3-2. They have been getting it back together against the 1-4 Steelers. These are not the Steelers anymore. We knew this; they were gonna be not as great with the loss of Ben Roethlisberger, and T.J. Watt getting hurt first week of the year. But without T.J. Watt, their defense has looked like a shell of their former self. Minka Fitzpatrick's hurt. I think all their starting corners are hurt, pretty much. They just their defense is number 32 against wide receivers and 28 against quarterbacks. So Tom Brady is my quarterback start of the week with Kirk Cousins. Tom Brady, he has been getting better, and now that he has all his weapons back, who would have thought he can play football? In this game, Chris Godwin is my wide receiver start of the week as well. Chris Godwin, again, you're playing the worst ranked defense against the wide receiver. Godwin has been getting more and more snaps as they've been easing him back, getting more and more touches. I think he gets that touchdown this week. He gets 6 or 7 catches. Let's say like 80, 90 yards receiving. Mike Evans is going to have a great game. And the dump truck, shout out to the fantasy footballers, Leonard Fournette is going to have a good game running the ball as well. But other than that, I'm not looking to start anybody else. Cameron Braid is going to be back, so you people who tried to play Kate Otten, you really can't do it anymore, sadly. On the Steelers side, like, Kenny Pickett has looked good. Like, last week, it's growing pains. He's a rookie. He'll get there. But this week against Buccaneers, you think he looked bad a couple weeks ago. He's going to look real bad this week. The Buccaneers defense is still really good. Najee, we need to talk about this guy because he's a guy I'm banging that panic alarm right now. If I have a panic button, I'm banging it because what is going on with Najee? He's a guy I'm looking to sell high, get rid of him, trade him away because it's not looking good. It looks like Jalen Warren, from what Mike Tomlin said, is going to get more carries with Najee. And first of all, that's already bad for Najee. You're losing carries. You're playing the Buccaneers. Like, am I crazy to say not start Najee against the Bucs? Wow, I'm actually thinking if you have an option between him, Najee Harris, or say the guy you picked up, Eno Benjamin. I'd play Eno Benjamin. With no Connor, I'd play Eno Benjamin. Holy crap. I can't believe I'm saying that, but I'd play Eno Benjamin. Or like Kenneth Walker. I'd play Kenneth Walker over him. Like, it's shocking that I'm saying that, but I feel like at this point you kind of... He's almost worth you benching, you know? At this point, I just don't like any of the options on the Steelers side except for Deontay Johnson. And Freiermuth, of course. The Muth is a guy that he has been pretty good, but he's just been dealing with the concussion. I don't think he plays this week. If he doesn't play, if you're in like a DFS lineup, Zach Gentry is a guy that maybe do decent for you. If you're just looking for a touchdown upside. But the Buccaneers win this game hands down. Moving over, we talked about over unders. This is the worst over under of the week at 40.5, and that's absolutely terrible. In this game, really, Panthers side, the only guy you're starting is Christian McCaffrey. PJ Walker is probably going to start in this game. So the Rams defense, if you have them, play them. And then I'm actually interested in playing the Panthers defense against the Rams because the Rams offense hasn't been that much better either. Because their line, who would have thought Andrew Whitworth retiring, your line just falls to shambles. And Stafford's going to get sacked a lot in this game. And I will say something is up with Stafford's elbow. I think that he is probably requiring surgery and he's refused to get it and he's playing through it, kind of like how Russell Wilson is with his torn labrum. That is something that's not great. So really and Cam Akers is out for this game. We confirm that for, I think, personal reasons. So he's out. I'm not looking to play Darrell Henderson in this matchup against the Panthers. The only guy you're looking to play in the Rams offense anymore is Tyler Higbee and Cooper Kupp. That's it. End of story. There's not much to talk about in this game. I do think the Rams get back, though. I do think this is a get-right game for the Rams, and I think they win this game easily, but I think it's going to be a very low-scoring game. There's going to be a lot of sacks, and several turnovers. Next, we have the Cardinals at 2-3 and the Seattle Seahawks at 2-3. This is actually one of the highest over-unders of the week at 50.5. This is a very interesting matchup this week. Geno Smith is a guy that you almost want to start him every week because Geno Smith has been absolutely amazing for fantasy. And who would have thought? He's actually having a great year. He's doing fantastic. And Cardinals, of course, playing Kyler Murray. The running backs. Eno Benjamin looks like he's going to get a bulk of the carries. They did pick up 2 running backs to basically just be bodies. So it looks like Eno is going to be the guy that gets the bulk of the carries. And then on the Seahawks side, I'm looking to pick up DJ Dallas because he will be a factor in deeper leagues. But Kenny Walker and DJ Dallas are 2 guys that they are at least worthy of a flex play. And then the receivers, Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown, man, is going to be so good against Seattle this week. Seattle's defense is not great. The Cardinals' defense, it looks like Tyler Lockett, actually, by the way. Tyler Lockett came up on the injury report literally yesterday. When that happens, that's not good. That's not good. So if that happens and he's out, DK Metcalf, you're still playing him after what has been going on, but Byron Murphy, the starting cornerback for the Cardinals, has shut down number 1 in the receivers that he's been on all this year. He shut down Devontae Adams. He shut down Cooper Kupp. He's shut down a lot of the people that he's played so far this year, and I would not be amazed if that happens this week with DK. I do feel like, though, if Lockett's out, you could try, if you're desperate for a tight end, play Will Disley, because he's going to be necessary. I do feel like this is going to be a very entertaining game, but it could be one of those games where it's a slugfest, like that, back and forth, division rivalry game, like always. And in this game, Zach Ertz is actually a very interesting as well. He's actually my tight end start of the week this week because the Seahawks give up one of the most points to the tight end. And Zach Ertz is a guy where this is probably going to be the last week that you're going to get a lot of points from him. because DeAndre Hopkins comes back next week. So Hopkins comes back next week. It Hollywood's gonna bump down a little bit, and Zach Ertz is gonna be almost non-existent. So it looks like that's gonna happen there. And the Cardinals, I in this game, who I want to pick, lock it out really hurts. I think the Cardinals win this game. I think they do. But here's the game I want to talk about, baby. Oh yeah. Bills 4-1 and the Chiefs at 4-1. The over under is 54.5. Whoo! I love this. This is gonna be so good for fantasy. I'm just gonna make this quick. Everybody starts. Everybody. Everybody. You start everybody. Devin Singletary, he's a flex play, most likely. But you're still playing him against the Chiefs defense, who you're not really scared of. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a no, though. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a no, because the Bills' defense has been good against the run. But it is a high-scoring affair, and you can bank on him falling in the end zone and getting a touchdown. My wide receiver start of the week. Other than Chris Godwin, it's Gabe Davis. Gabe Davis, after he is salivating because what he did to them last time he played them, 4 touchdowns. I don't think we're going to get 4 touchdowns again this time, but he's going to get a ton of play, and I feel like he could get a touchdown in this game. 100% he would. But everyone's playable. Everyone's playable except for the receivers and the Chiefs. But you could bank on the Chiefs receivers just being in a high-scoring game. Like, I play MVS in a flex spot if you're desperate, because this is going to be a game that they're going to have to keep up. The Chiefs are going to have to keep up scoring-wise, and they're going to need points. So you could do worse. You could do worse. In this game, dear God, who am I picking? I think the Bills get it done. I think the Bills are going to get revenge for what happened last year. You know, it'd be really funny if it went to overtime and they don't have those playoff rules for the overtime, and the Bills come down and score, or the Chiefs get it. They punt the possession. The Bills come back and score. Or the other way around. The Bills go down and they score the opening possession and win. That'd be hilarious. I would love that. I would absolutely love that. Bills win in this game. In overtime. I mean, why not, right? Moving on to one of the lowest over-unders of the week, 42.5. Dallas Cowboys versus the Philadelphia Eagles. This game is huge. This game is huge. This game right here, I feel like it's going to be a game where it's going to come down to field goals. We're going to see how good Jalen Hurts is. There's been a lot of talk on both sides going into this game. A.J. Brown has been talking. Micah Parsons has been talking. A lot of people have been... There's been a lot of trash talk going into this game. And no Dak. Dak is not officially back yet. Jalen Hurts, you kind of have to play him every week, but this is the toughest. Like, he hasn't really played any tough defenses. This is the toughest defense he has played all year to this point. And Jalen Hurts obviously is still starting. But Miles Sanders, I'm not looking to start Miles Sanders. I'm not staying in the flames with Miles. A.J. Brown, yeah, you got to play A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Dallas Goedert is a definite must-play, obviously, after what he's been doing. But on the Cowboys side, I'm looking to play both defenses because this is not going to be a high-scoring game. This is going to be a very tight game, low-scoring, very competitive. I feel like the Eagles are a very good defense, and the Cowboys are very good pass rush and a very good defense as well, with turnovers and whatnot. So this game is going to be... We're getting spoiled with these top 2 games here, with the 4:25 game and then the 8:20 night game, because these games are absolutely unbelievable. The Cowboys side, like, Obviously, you're not playing Cooper Rush, but and Zeke, man. I wouldn't play any of the running backs for the Cowboys either, uh, at all. But CeeDee Lamb is the one guy who is needs to be started every week. But uh, this is going to be a very low scoring game. I think the Cowboys do get it done, and I think the Cowboys upset the Eagles, and it's going to be very interesting down the way where we're going to have Cowboys, Giants, Eagles all locked up. If the Giants happen to win against the Ravens at 5-1, so that'll be something going down the stretch. Finally, we're at the last game. Broncos at 2-3, Chargers at 3-2. Broncos defense has been really, really good this year. Um, and that has been about it. Russell Wilson has been very inconsistent, very bad. We found out now he has a torn labrum. And he's playing with it. That ain't good. That ain't good. In this game, Melvin Gordon is a definite must play, obviously. The Chargers defense is one of the worst against the run, and Melvin Gordon, I think, is going to dominate in this game as well. Mike Boone is actually kind of interesting as a flex play as well, so in deeper leagues, don't play him in your basic league. And Cortland Sutton is always a start. You can't, even with Russell Wilson sucking, Cortland Sutton is targeted a lot. Jerry Jeudy, he's not worthy of being started anymore. He's not worthy of dropping, but he's not worthy of being started anymore. He just isn't. Russell has not been looking his way. He doesn't really. He did try the last time they played throwing a bomb to Jeudy, but he was like 15 yards down the field further than from him. So he doesn't have the accuracy on his deep ball anymore, which is very sad to see for Russell. Which, that's what happens when you play with a torn labrum. So, in this game, on the Chargers side, Eckler, after what Eckler's been doing, you have to play him. And I think they finally realized, hey, this Eckler guy we have, he's our best player. Maybe we should just give him the ball and let him dominate like he always does. And you're starting Justin Herbert. Keenan Allen. It looks like he is questionable going into this game, I believe, but he did play. He did practice today, I think. I believe so. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, Keenan Allen is questionable going into this week. He said he is quote unquote fine. I don't see him playing. So he did get in a limited practice on Friday. So he may be able to be started, he may not. I wouldn't play him coming back from a hamstring. Mike Williams is a guy that it's going to be you're playing him after what he's been doing for you, but it's going to be tough if he's going to be on PS2. And Gerald Everett, he gets a bump up in targets if Keenan Allen's out again, but the Broncos defense is pretty good. So in this game, this could go either way. I got to choose the Chargers. I think that Russell Wilson ain't going to be able to do it. I really feel like he can't get it done this week. That's just me speaking, but I don't think he'll be able to get it done. So, all right. Well, that was all the matchups, I believe. Yes. Okay, perfect. Hour and 4 minutes. That's a lot better than an hour and 50. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching. If you all did enjoy, feel free, go ahead, hit that like button down below. Let us know, as I said in the beginning, Leave comments. Let us know what your start sit decisions are. We can give you advice, different stuff like that. We want to do that. Funk should be back next week. We want to try and get more special guests from our league in here if we can.